Welcome to Post-Match Paint with Guga Veiga, Dan O'Connor, Dan Rose, Carlo Romber, and Thiago Pulinari.
Yeah, so first up, we're going to see if we can share a few stories just about in the locker room and kind of over your professional and college career. If you've got any kind of behind the scenes stories of in the locker room, what you like, what you don't like, anything around there, who would like to start?
What I like a lot is the teammates that help you out. For example, I don't need a barber anymore. We have two great barbers in the locker room. They charge a way less price as well, so I pay like $10. Of course, not the greatest cut, but you know, it helps you out and don't need to go to the barber anymore. They learn how to cut hair, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I think for me, being in the women's locker room right now, it definitely smells a little bit better than ours and definitely a little bit tidier, so they probably don't have the same issues that we have keeping things tidy, so yeah.
Okay, so for this segment is from home to here, and this is about kind of your culture change, so coming over as international players, moving over and adjusting to the food that's over here, the different cultures, different way of life, and kind of how you adapt to that.
For me, like the Brazilians here helped me a lot to my adaptation. Of course, like we have a lot of international players with different like countries, but I think like we have a lot of different nationalities. So it's good for us because like everyone try to find a family. Like we need to be a family because we don't have our family here. So that's it for me.
Yeah, I think for me being injured right now, it's quite a dangerous one because obviously with not playing and having the access to the unhealthy food, and yeah, it's quite hard not to put on a few pounds.
Yeah, I think one thing here is it's very easy to get just fast food, you know. Usually it's a little bit more expensive to buy healthy food, even if you try, and you know, sometimes I think the devil gets you and you just go get some fast food, so that's for sure one thing in America.
The next segment is the long road trip. So this, I want to hear kind of your best stories of travel in terms of it might be an absolute nightmare hotel, something that's gone wrong on a kind of a bus trip, or something funny in an airport, or along them kind of lines where it hasn't gone as smooth as what you kind of imagined.
Yeah, I remember one we had last year where we were going to coastal Carolina and there was like 10 of us that got like randomly chosen to go back to Huntington rather than Charleston. We were going to get back like 3 or 4 hours full of lads and we were all buzzing. It was with all the coaches, and then our flight got delayed and then delayed and then delayed, and we eventually got back at like 11 p.m. and it was just a complete nightmare. So probably the worst one for me.
I think the funniest one for me was this year. We flew to New York and kind of a lot of guys were still on standby, and we ended up arriving in New York with only one assistant coach and our athletic trainer because all the coaches they couldn't come because we didn't have enough seats on the airplane. That was funny, and they ended up driving up to Columbus, taking flight there, so it was a complete mess. Pretty funny, you know, just traveling like on our own in a way.
Yeah.
For me, the best one was the last year when we played the College Cup. I think it's because the occasion, of course,
Yeah.
but for me it was the best one.
Yeah, we were on a private plane. That was
Yeah.
unreal. Yeah.
Yeah, so the next segment is Sunday League Confessions. So this is kind of embarrassing stories that you might have from your youth, from your amateur years, as you're kind of moving up through the ranks.
I think we had one video analysis when I was younger, like was like 14, 15, and I was always like kind of a loud person, and then the coach asked like a question to someone and I knew it, and I like wanted to whisper it to myself, but I said it so loud and the coach got like super mad at me. Of course I was like sitting in the last row and I said it like out loud, and then everybody kind of laughed, and you know, I just wanted to like sink in my seat. No, like of course, you know, I didn't want to say it, and then the coach was super mad at me because he didn't want us to answer it, you know, and it was like after a tough loss, and you know how it goes sometimes in the locker room, and then ended up, you know, needing to run like half the practice, and yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing for me.
I think the best one for me was when I was at Schalke. We were playing like an American team would come over, and obviously we weren't expecting much. No offense. And it was I hadn't played the game, and we were 7-8 up, and they brought me on up front, and it was a ball into the box last minute, and I headed over the bar and nearly scored, but it would have been unreal if I scored. It was a fun one.
Next segment is the VAR review. So for this one, it is kind of any drama that's been on a trip or even at home between kind of two roommates that have kind of clashed.
Well, I had a little of a clash with one of our center backs. We have like a game, whenever somebody breaks a rule, we need to spin a wheel with like different punishments. And he made me spin the wheel, and I thought it was super unfair because he kind of did the same thing, like broke the same rule in a way. And I tried to argue, and then he ended up didn't need to spin, and I needed to spin, and I was fuming about that. So for sure, I mean now it's all fun and games. We're good, but in that moment, I was fuming, for sure.
I mean, this guy's a quiet guy. He's always watching, so you got to be careful around him.
Okay, so for the final segment we have our pub quiz, so we're going to go through a little bit on kind of teammates, so I'll read out a category and then you've just got to fire out a name that best fits that, okay? Make sense?
Yep.
So first up we are going to have the worst cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Pior cozinheiro?
You can say yourself.
yeah, you can say.
Probably it's not me, bro. We have a lot of like young people.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
they don't know to cook. You know?
Yeah.
I would say Alaba.
Alaba.
Because his wife is like a amazing cooker, so he doesn't need to cook. You know.
Yeah, makes sense.
So-
Makes sense.
Worst dress sense.
You can say yourself for this one for sure.
Alright, we go with me. Next one.
We've got who in the team would you least want to date your daughter?
I would have to go Louis Salkels. just because I know him too well, and I know him way too well, and that wouldn't be a good fit for me. No.
I agree on that one. I would have to agree on that one.
Unanimous. The funniest in the group.
I would say Louis as well.
Louis.
Yeah,
I think Louis is up there.
Louis is up there.
Yeah, I think Hayes up there.
I
Maybe
think
Jamal.
Kirill is quite funny
Yeah,
as
we've
well.
got a funny team.
Yeah, for sure.
The strongest.
Maybe this
For
guy.
sure, this guy.
Maybe this guy.
100%.
The craziest.
Probably Louis.
Yeah, it has to be Louis, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what it is.
And maybe Alaba. Alaba
Yeah,
is crazy.
that's
So
interesting.
Alaba and
Yeah.
Who is the messiest?
I can't say Louis again. I'm gonna go Ryan Holmes. Ryan Holmes.
Okay, that's a
Our captain.
sneaky one. What do you think is the messiest?
Like my locker room is like closer than Della's locker room, and
Della?
I would say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. Who spends the longest time in front of a mirror?
Hayes Pinto.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
400% Hayes Pinto.
In front of the mirror and on Instagram.
Who is the smartest?
Unfortunately, we don't have Ethan Prescott anymore.
Yeah, Ethan Prescott would have been a good one.
Maybe Brian. Brian is studying.
Brian's
Yeah,
studying a
Brian's-
lot. Brian's studying a lot.
And I think, yeah, he's quite smart as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And last one. Who would be the first to die if the zombies took over the world and was at the bottom?
Alaba. 100%.
Why, bro?
I don't know, he's just like, he gives me the vibes, you know. He would be like one of them, like, who goes out and tries to fight him. Everybody would go and like try to seek shelter. You need I'm just going out. He's going out trying to fight the zombies.
I think Ejin. I think he's start that season.
Ejin is a good one. Ejin is a good one, yeah.
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 And on the back of that, who would have the best chance at surviving? Who would survive the longest?
That's quite long.
I'm gonna go with Jake, one of our coaches.
Wow.
Policeman.
Amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to go there. That's an
Yeah.
amazing call.
Yeah.
He's a-
There we go.
Thank you for listening us. See you next time.